Hey everybody, thanks for being here. This week we're up in north central Washington on beautiful Banks Lake fishing for walleye.
Brought to you by Corning Ford, Procure, Clackercraft, Yakima Bait, P-Line, Max Lure, Fishfield, Brad's Fishing, TrollingFlies.com, Olish Charters, Fishhawk Electronics, and Fishang Products.
Now, if you want to learn how to catch more fish, stay tuned. I'm Justin Wolf, and this is Angler West Television.
Today we're on Banks Lake, one of the many great walleye fisheries in north central Washington. We're with guide Jaime Rodriguez, Eric Broughton, and Bob Schmidt of Max Lure. Summer is just around the corner, so post-spawn walleye are on the menu.
So you're going to hear us talk a lot today. You're going to hear structure, you're going to hear points, you're going to hear weed lines, words like that. It's the water temperature dropped from last time, so that may push these fish a little bit deeper. But there is a point that comes out right here that they'll relate to. They'll relate to any kind of structure like that.
Yeah, we're going to use the Max Hot Wings today. We got the copper and chartreuse, double backed. It really looks good in the water. And it's just a half of a stacked bead, a couple beads, and a 0.8 smile blade chartreuse sparkle.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tune this blade, and you do it point to point like that, and then pinch down that crease right there, and that gives it a good spin action.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that looks good. You got the bait back there.
We're not even under power, that's just the
Right.
little bit of movement.
So Eric's got the 0.8 smile blade. We're going to go with the 1-1, and we're just going to see what size they want. Last time they did want the smaller one, but I always like to put out a 1-1 just to kind of give them some options out there. Stack tapered bead, single hook, and just to rig it up. You don't need this whole crawler. We will use this crawler for 2 different rigs, but it's just a matter of threading them up the hook, popping them out, and we're going to pinch some of this tail off. I'll actually save this for the next rig.
And we're fishing up here mainly because the water's clear because of the flow of the canal. And when we just blew, I think the first day it was 40 miles an hour winds, and then we had 28 yesterday. So we've had 2 good days of turbidity and wave action. And if we were to go down by steamboat right now, it's going to be really cloudy. And so I wanted to be more clear, and so we started it up here.
He's there.
Bob?
Somebody, yeah. He's there. Is he a netter?
Doesn't feel real big yet.
Yeah, he was swimming. He grabbed it. He was swimming with it for a while.
Right size.
That was with the hot wings, huh?
The hot wings. Nice
Nice
job.
water.
And the hook came out just like that. Nice tension.
That's what it came down to. Yeah. You always want to keep that rod loaded up. You straighten out that rod, especially with hook sets like that, they're definitely going to pop loose. The way you want to hold them is you want to just come up through here, pinch them right here. My buddy Ed taught me this, and this guy is absolutely not going to go anywhere. He's stuck to you. He will poke you right here, on his teeth, of course, and then off the side, he's got points off his cheeks right here. And this one's actually milting, as you can tell, in the boat. And Eric taught me this, is you got to get some of this stuff off of him, give your boat some good luck, and just rub it on the steering wheel.
It worked since last time.
It did.
The fish hit that, what we showed you earlier, the stacked bead, the gold, and the chartreuse smile blade sparkle, 0.8. And then we had the hot wings on there, which really helped, I think, in this murky water. Put some trophy walleye on there. I like to put it's on the gel. I like to put it up here on a couple of the beads, and then right at the top.
Yeah, we also have our own line of scent, and it's made by Procure, and what we do is we just have them add a little extra UV flash in our formula, make it a little bit different, but they both work really well, and these cloudy water days, extra UV can be a real big help.
closed captioning provided by trollingflies.com that are irresistible to fish. Take a look at the new Vampire Leech, either fished behind a bullet weight or without. The natural undulating action screams "Eat me" to all game fish. Discover all of the proven trolling fly patterns at trollingflies.com. With its spacious walk-around design, the Clackamas 18 was created to meet the needs of pro guides or family anglers that need versatility and space.
We like this boat. It's super versatile. You can put a motor on it if you want to use a motor to run back up through the holes, or if you just want to side drift and pull plugs all day or bobber dog. It's a great versatile boat.
This year, upgrade to the Clackamas 18 and upgrade your fishing like you've never thought possible. Go to clackacraft.com and see all of the drift boat models, including the super versatile, super fishy Clackamas 18. The innovators in aluminum rod extensions, Fishang also builds other great products like easy-to-use fillet tables, rod stations, and tool holders to keep any boat organized and safe. And now, garbage cans for your boat. Check out fishang.com or your local tackle shop. Join us September 2024 for the ultimate giant peacock bass Amazon excursion aboard the Kahlua II. Access an exclusive tributary of the Rio Negro with expert local guides that will put you on the big fish in this pristine, unspoiled corner of the Amazon. Contact Stevie Tomey at Adventure Travel Alliance today to book this trip of a lifetime. You just never know what will happen on the next cast. Join me on this bucket list trip that I guarantee to be an adventure you will never forget.
20-pounder.
It's a good one, Bobby.
Good fish. Nice fish.
Welcome back to Banks Lake. I'm Justin Wolf. We're fishing out of Electric City at the north end of Banks Lake, an irrigation reservoir with fluctuating currents that are key to understanding effective trolling speeds.
On the river, I typically go anywhere from 0.9 to 1.3, but fishing with Eric these last few days, that's too fast. So we're gonna target like a 0.8, 0.9, maybe a 1 when we're running bottom bouncers and spinners. Speed over ground. Once we start transitioning to the crankbait bite, we'll definitely up that speed a little higher.
At the upper end of the Banks Lake, we have a bunch of irrigation pumps because this is an irrigation reservoir. And when they're pumping for irrigation down in the Columbia Basin irrigation, all of Moses Lake, all of, the Columbia Basin where they irrigate all the crops. This time of year, they start filling all those reservoirs, Moses Lake, potholes, and they start filling all that water up. And all that water comes from Banks Lake through a canal system. Well, through some federal decisions, they've decided to pump up the water in the lake to help fill some other areas like the Odessa Aquifer and some other areas. So they're putting more water through the lake, which has kind of created more current, more like a river. So you have to kind of adjust your thinking about where these fish, and some days they might not pump, some days they might pump half the pumps, and then some days they might use them all. So it depends on the temperatures, how much they're irrigating the crops, and so all that stuff relates to how fast or where the fish will kind of stage. And so throughout my time on the lake, I found that if you treat Banks like a river and you look for ambush spots and points and little eddies and things that current, the land structures create, when you have flow through the system.
You definitely want to adjust your speed. I do a lot of river fishing, and typically we only bottom bounce going with the current. It's easier for our presentation to get to the bottom. You have to adjust speed, you have to adjust weight. But my biggest fish actually come when I'm bottom bouncing against the current. And again, matching the speed and then adjusting your weight. Because typically these walleyes that we're targeting are going to be in the lower bottom of the water column, a foot or two off the bottom.
Yeah. Drop her down. See if she catches a fish.
When I like to pinch the crawler, like a lot of guys will have, got a fish on.
Come on.
Another hook up here.
Oh, it's a nice one.
times.
Straight up, Bob. Milton. Another milker. Nice. Nice walleye.
Another milker there.
Yep.
The good luck sauce.
Got your purple and gold, 2 in a row there.
Shout out UW. Ooh, swallowed it, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He was swimming with it for a while. I thought because we came up a little shallow, I thought it was just working bottom, but
That's a nice fish though.
Yeah.
Our spawn's basically over with, but a lot of these males are still on these spawning areas. And this area that we're fishing in, a lot of these reservoirs, Potholes, Moses Lake, even parts of the river, but mainly in the windswept reservoirs. The wind side, most of the time the wind blows up the lake. And so on the leeward or the downward lake side of these points, a lot of that mud gets turned to eroded over time, and you have gravel on this side of the points because the wind sweeps it off. And so these fish will come in here and spawn in the spring, and a lot of these males will come in and clean it off. The females will come cast their eggs, but they still, because of the current and the part of the lake, they still feed up here. But the temperature up here, like I said earlier, is a little lower than down the lake. So I don't think the fish spawn later. I think it's just that they hang around, and that's why we still have milting males right now.
Fish on.
Fish on?
it didn't take too long. Oh, this guy's got some. Oh, he came off. Set it back down. Maybe he'll follow it. Sometimes they'll do that. They'll come back and pick it up.
So it says 56.7 is surface. 55.4 at 5 feet. 54.8 at 10 feet. 54.7 at 15 feet. 54.5 at 20 feet. 54.3 at 25 feet and at 30 feet. And at 35 feet, 54.3. So that's like a 3-degree difference from top to bottom. So that's good to know, because, you know, that tells me that we're basically out of the spawn, or just the tail end of it. So it kind of confirms what we were seeing with those fish that were still melting. So the male walleyes that we caught.
Brad's Killer Fishing Gear has the products you can count on to put more fish in the net. This week's featured product is the new Lemon Joy full-size super bait. This new color is just plain fishy, and while the original super baits are typically thought of for salmon, sometimes the larger profile and big action is just what landlocked salmon and trout want as well. No matter your target species, Brad's proven line of lures, attractors, and terminal tackle will make your day on the water more successful. Find Brad's Killer Fishing Gear at your local retailer. Fishing like this still exists at Ole's Fishing Charters, Winter Harbor, Vancouver Island, British Columbia. Incredible fishing for halibut, lingcod, king, and coho salmon. And if you book in late August or early September, you have a shot at amazing albacore tuna action. Bring plenty of coolers and drive home with limits of some of the best quality fish on the planet. All expertly filleted, packed, and frozen in Ole's fish processing facility. Great food, great accommodations, and great fishing. It's just a phone call away. You've figured out the bite, now don't let your net fail you. Beckman is a name you can trust for high-quality, reliable nets. Available in over 20 styles, including coated, PVC, and rubber nets, with a wide range of choices and handles, including extendable handles, giving you up to a 12-foot reach. For salmon, steelhead, trout, kokanee, bass, and walleye, Beckman has the right net for you. See them all at BeckmanFishingNets.com and look for Beckman Nets at your local retailer. New at Fishfield.com, crappie party jigs without or with blades, dancing minnow flies, UV enhanced scale tinsel flash, and castable crab pods in round or square versions. You'll find great prices and a huge selection at Fishfield.com. Looking to hook up with more trout? Grab the family and a handful of rooster tails, the most versatile, multi-species lure of all time. Since the 1950s, the iconic rooster tail with its pulsating hackle tail and custom blades has filled limits for fishing families around the world.
We're going back to Banks Lake, but first here's your Fishfield Tackle Connection. Now, if you're looking to up your walleye game, Fishfield's got a great selection of walleye rods. They got some of the Daiwa cage models, and also Shimano GLX Walleye Series, all fantastic rods. Now, in deciding which type of rods you should be using for how you're fishing, that's sometimes a little bit tricky. What I would do is call someone like J-Rod and get some good advice. Feel free to give them a call. In fact, book a trip with them. Really get some good experience and up your game big time for walleye. They're a lot of fun to fish for and great eating. Now, let's go back to Banks Lake and see if we can't catch some more of those walleye.
After a few days of high winds, we have a beautiful morning to work with on Banks Lake. We've caught some walleye in deeper water, but now we're moving to some shallow weed lines to hopefully find more actively feeding fish.
Okay, so we're transitioning from that deeper water into some shallow water right here. We could fish this area 2 different ways, but basically we're gonna follow the weed lines and run across them. So with that, we're gonna switch out bottom bouncers. I know at least I am. We were at 2.5, 3s out there in that deeper water, and then we're gonna go now to like 1.5s, 1 ounce.
There's a few ways to tune a smile blade. First of all, if you want a faster, tighter roll, you pinch it down nice and tight like that. Same speed, but you're going to get a faster spin. If you open it up like this, you're going to get a slower roll even though you're doing the same speed. And then once in a while, a smile blade will get bent or stepped on and you need to reshape it. So when you bend it down, you want it to be offset like this. You don't want it to be one on top of the other. So make sure it's offset. That gives you a spin even at slower speeds.
Yep. Oh, you got it. Can you get it? I'll keep us on the roll.
Nice.
Oh, look at that. Quick release. Motor oil blade.
Oh, motor oil.
So after the spawn, the post-spawn bite is when these walleyes will come in to these shallow areas and where the temperatures, that's where all the minnows go. And so they go in and they look for the minnows in these. And the first weed lines, as we get sun in the spring, the weed lines start to develop. And in about July, the outside of the weed lines will be around 25 feet, and they might go into about 10, 11 feet or shallower. And then, so your deeper spots, so like right now, the weed line's right about, was it 12, 13?
Yep.
And so we're trying to fish just outside that weed lines because we know the walleyes are cruising that weed fence looking for minnows.
Okay, we checked the water temperature out deep. Now that we came in shallow, I'm curious to see what the water temperature is doing. So we'll go ahead and start this guy and get her tossed out.
Got two fish on?
Oh, it's perches.
Which one do you want me to take?
Well, whatever. I don't know. I think I missed both of them.
I got a reading. So surface temperature is 58. And as we go down, 57, 56, 55. So it's 55 degrees and 15 feet of water. So, interesting. What was it over there?
54.3 on the bottom, and 57 on the surface.
So it is a degree or so warmer back here in this shallower water. So
Maybe a bass?
Yep.
Smallie?
It was like a smallie.
Nice fish.
So those, you thought it was a bass because it was kind of an aggressive bite right at the beginning. Sometimes you'll think that these more aggressive ones are bass when they bite, but in fact they are walleyes. Can you guys say what color that was?
Looks like another husky. Golden purple.
Oh no, you
They
did
don't
not.
like huskies on this side of the mountains, J-Rod.
Oh yeah. He's there. Real women.
Motor oil.
Competition's hot between motor oil and purple gold.
Like this is probably what, an 18?
Yeah, this is a tournament fish.
But even this is on the small side of what we caught last year. Last year we had some pretty nice fish, like 20s.
Yeah.
So, and a 20-inch fish is about 3.5 pounds.
Oh yeah, he's there. Okay, so we'll release this guy.
There's a bass. Perch, no bass. Keep getting interrupted by biting fish.
Yeah, we got enough in the box. We found some fish here. This might be a tournament spot for us, so we're gonna go try to find some other fish and otherwhere in the lake, and we'll show you guys some beautiful scenery.
We're going back to Banks Lake, but first, here's your Yakima Bait Minute.
Okay, so spin fish comes rigged up from the factory, pre-rigged, but you can re-rig them any way you like with one single, two single, trebles, whatever. But once you snell your leader and put a couple beads on your line for bearings, then you take your line and thread it through the tail of the lure, through the hole, and then through either one of these holes, which will allow the bait to swim or spin either clockwise or counterclockwise. And so we're going to go, this will be a clockwise spin because I got it through the left hole, or to my left. And so that the water will push harder here and it'll cause it to spin clockwise.
You notice what we do with our anchovies the night before is we go ahead and put them in Brine and Bite Complete.
For color, shine, and durability, nothing beats Brine and Bite Complete. And if you really want to kick it up a notch, add super powerful bait spice.
So the bait spice is just rock salt that we bedded other baits on when we're preserving them and stabilizing them. But even just, a scoop per container would just make yours a little bit different than the boat next to you.
It's a line ripper. Double.
You've found the fish, now feed them what they want. Chances are that's either a shallow diving P-line angry eye predator minnow or a deep diving predator minnow. Whether you're fishing the Delta or far up the Sacramento or other rivers, these lures get them on. Fish them with super tough CXX mono or keep them out of the trees with the power of P-line XTCB braid.
See how Ray took the big fish?
Yeah, I had to stilt the big one.
We've caught plenty of quality walleye trolling worm harnesses with smile blades on the bottom, but now we've made a move to see if the crankbait bite is going on. Using side planers, we'll troll crankbaits behind hot wings, and also try out the new SD hitch, which enables you to add the flash and action of a smile blade to nearly any type of lure.
This is the Max SD hitch, and they make these to apply to different types of baits, but it's a wire frame and it's got this cool quick connect. All right, now I got it set up. So this is going to look like this minnow is chasing that smile blade. It's going to look like another minnow.
The SD hitch is just a good universal tool to add to anything, whether you put it in front of a jig or put it in front of a crankbait. It gives that extra spin and creates that scenario where it looks like your lure is actually chasing a live fish, so you can get some of those aggression strikes usually out of the fish.
Like a lot of you guys out there know, planer boards is a good product to get your baits away from the boat. So if you have boat shy walleye, this gets your presentation out away from the boat, and then in this case it helps with a good spread. You're able to fish multiple rods. On Banks Lake, they offer a 2-pole endorsement, so with that 2-pole endorsement, one person could fish 2 rods, and then if you have you and a couple buddies, planer boards will help with spreading that out. Maybe about 40-50 feet let some more line out, and then I'll lock it in, and then you'll see the board just take your presentation out away. A little bit more. Put it in the holder.
This time of year when they're really kind of aggressive, I like to troll anywhere from 1.3 to 1.5 on the low end and up end, up to 2 miles an hour. So like a 1.7 is perfect for right this time of year.
Nothing big. Planer board's 2-man job. I got a BASS.
You want me to net it?
No. A little bit better bass than before on the crank. Oh yeah, he hammered it. We're fishing a little bit shallow water, but we're gonna head to a little bit deeper water with the cranks. This one's only rated to go down to like 10 feet. We'll put that guy in there and we'll grab one of these guys. I know purple, like Eric was saying earlier, is just a good go-to color here on banks. This one has like a purple back to it, gold. So I'll put this little bit deeper crankbait on and catch some fish.
So we haven't been doing very good on the crankbaits. We just noticed some fish that were on the bottom. So we're gonna go back to worms and we're gonna try to improve our catch ratio here.
Oh yeah, he's there. Snug him up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Motor oil.
There's another one on the motor oil. I think that's the hot color today so far.
Come on. Gold sparkle.
That didn't take long.
We switched out back to worms from cranks, and this is the result. We were down, what, 5 minutes?
Yeah, on the turn. So it's always good when you're trolling. Don't go in a straight line. You're gonna want to, do some slight S turns. Oh, this guy's got some tug.
Big as I thought.
There's a nice Banks Lake walleye.
What is it?
BASS.
Oh, it's a BASS.
We don't say certain words like rain, wind, or bass. It's bad luck.
Hey, I hope you found today's episode valuable and it helps you catch more fish. And be sure to watch this episode again and hundreds of other episodes and helpful videos on the Angler West TV YouTube channel, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And remember, without our sponsors, there is no show, so please thank them when you can. Now get out there and do some great fishing.